Hey, what's going on, family? Today we're going to talk about this article from DL News. Layoffs hit Bored Apes creator. Quote, Yuga lost its way. This is what the CEO of Yuga Labs, the creator of the Bored Ape NFTs, they lost their way. How could they possibly lose their way when they have garnered or has brought in hundreds of millions of dollars off of this NFT project that they created? How could they possibly lose their way? What happened? What went wrong? Did the CEO not have a vision as to where he wanted this business to go? Yuga Labs CEO Greg Solano announced a round of layoffs Friday. There they go. A couple of people got the pink slip again. It's not the fault of the people who received the pink slip. It's the top, the ones who didn't continue to play out the plan as to where they see this particular business going, as to why those people got the pink slips, as to why they got laid off. It's because they lost their way. The CEO knows that. But isn't it crazy how it's the smaller people who gets laid off when they're not the one who is not in charge of seeing where the business is going to go into the future? What's their plan? What's their 5-year, 10-year plan out? It's the CEO's responsibility to carry that mission. But when they don't hit those points, when they don't end up continually growing, it's the lower people who just simply carries out the mission, the business, the day-to-day expenses, the day-to-day activities that goes on, the daily task. They're the ones to get laid off, but the CEO still stays. Isn't that crazy? The company has lost its way. Whose fault is that? Who would you put the blame on if the company lost its way? Would you put it on the lower people who received the pink slips, the one who got laid off, or would you put the blame on the CEO? To me, it would be the CEO who's at fault if the business lost its way. He told employees in the email, Yuga Labs' marquee product, the Bored Ape NFT collection, has steadily declined in value since its high in 2022. So just 2 years from 2022 to now, these NFTs has declined in value. And you wonder why. It was hyped up. It was a fad. It wasn't going to sustain itself that long because people couldn't do nothing with these NFTs. Who wanted to have a Bored Ape? Now, it was good that they got celebrities on board. That's probably one of the main reasons why from out the gate these NFTs became so popular, and I put that in quotations. It's because celebrities grabbed hold of to this NFTs. But now, nobody's even talking about these NFTs. So the moment that the CEO saw that the hype of these NFTs was growing, he should have taken that money that they received and place it into another venture, another lane, so that they can at least sustain themselves as a business. How could they possibly lose their way? This was the only thing that they had going, right? Is this the only thing that they had as a business, as an offering, as a product, was the Bored Ape? Or did they have a plethora of other things that's also in the mix that's bringing in revenue? Yuga Lab CEO Greg Solano dismissed several employees Friday, telling staff the company behind the famous Bored Apes NFT collection had lost its way and was struggling under a labyrinthine corporate processes. That just simply means confusing. However you pronounce this word, just simply means confusing. Okay. It wasn't immediately clear how many employees had been laid off or what percent of the company staff was affected. The company had about 120 employees after an October restructuring. So it's been on a steady decline. They're trying to get lean. In October of last year, they also restructured. And now, after that time, they only had 120 employees. So it's not like it's a massive business to where they got hundreds of thousands of employees. They only got 120. And the business still lost its way. Solano informed staff in an email Friday morning. He later shared a screenshot of that email on Twitter. Quote, I am hell-bent on transforming Yuga and getting us back to our roots. And that means making hard decisions, end quote. It's what he wrote on the social media platform. Oh, so now he's taking it serious. See, when everything was great, when the money was flowing in, when they received all of the limelight, the publicity, the articles, the tweets, and the money was coming in, like the faucet was just on full blast, just money coming in. He wasn't hell bent then. He wasn't serious as to where he sees the business going, because that wasn't going to last forever. Nothing in this world lasts forever, especially when it comes to a business, a company. By far the hardest is saying goodbye to some talented team members. Like I said, why do the quote talented team members need to get laid off? If they're that talented, if they're that valuable, you need to find a way to try to keep them on your payroll. You need to try to find a way to keep them there. Why are they leaving? If they're talented, maybe they need to stay and the CEO needs to go, because it's the CEO who is causing the problem of Yuga Labs losing its way. Not the talented people. The talented members are just simply carrying out the task that the CEO has laid out in front of them to do. Solano, one of Yuga Labs' co-founders, took over as CEO in February, promising to, quote, execute with a more crypto-native focus. Since launching the Bored Apes NFT collection in 2021, Yuga has grown into a behemoth. I don't think they knew how to handle success. I don't think they knew how to handle growing into such a massive conglomerate in the NFT space in such a short amount of time. They didn't know how to handle that. That's how they lost their way, in my opinion. And as they lost their way, they got sidetracked and saw, man, this is great. There's nothing else for us to do. And then in a mere 2 years, these NFTs has lost value. They declined, and nobody's talking about Bored Apes anymore. Celebrities aren't even trying to push it anymore. At its peak in 2022, the cheapest Bored Ape were worth well over 100 Ether, or Ethereum, about $400,000 at the time. That year, Yuga Labs closed a $450 million funding round at a valuation of $4 billion. Get that. How did you lose your way then? How, Sway? How did you possibly come from $450 million funding round? People was trying to give this business money. They was investing in this business that had a valuation of around $4 billion. How did you lose your way? And that's a question that the CEO, if he had like a board of directors or if he had shareholders, that would definitely be one question as to why they lost their way, or how did they lose their way. Like if this was a public company, if they had shares being traded on Wall Street, he probably had gotten laid off. He probably had resigned, or the prior CEO, because CEO only came on board in February. I just saw that in an article. In addition to launching new NFT collections, a token, and Bored Ape themed merchandise, the company began development of Other Side, a gamified metaverse, and purchased the rights to other premier NFT collections, including CryptoPunks and Moonbirds. Is that something that people want? Like, think about it. Is this something that people want? I don't think people even wanted the Bored Apes. I just think that celebrities saw it as a fad. They got on board for a little bit and now they're gone. One of the things to make a company or a business viable and long lasting is that you need to create something that keeps people coming back continually. Apparently, from this example, people don't come back for NFTs. Yeah, you can come and buy it. Okay, cool. But what am I supposed to do after I buy it? What are you going to do with it? Just going to put it back into the drawer or put it on your hard drive somewhere and you completely forget about it. There's nothing that's going to continue to bring you back to that NFT, to Yuga Labs. So that's why I think they try to do this gamified metaverse. It's because it continues to bring people back, especially if you're playing a game. But Bored Ape holders became disillusioned with the leadership of Yuga Labs' previous CEO, Daniel Agri, an Activision Blizzard alum. Since the collection's high in the spring of 2022, its value has steadily dropped. On Friday, the cheapest Bored Apes were selling for 11 Ethereum, or about $40,000. Wow. In Friday's email to Yuga staff, Solano said the company needed to become, quote, a team that does fewer things but does them brilliantly. Wow. Who do you think he's putting the blame on? Is it on the restructuring of the business? Is it on the talented team members that they have? Or is it the vision of the prior CEO? Somebody dropped the ball somewhere. And if somebody dropped the ball, that person, that individual, that procedure, that process needs to be removed. Because without that removal, look at the price of Ape. Look at it. I'm zoom out. This is what a price chart looks like when you see a company that's losing its way or that has lost its way. They're not able to keep the investment there. Money will always tell you. Money's like a magnet, okay? If it's something that's popping, if it's hot, and people really want to get their hands on this particular item, money will flow to it naturally. And then vice versa. If the market is not hot, if the product don't nobody like it, then money will flee. It would run. It won't even come there. It won't even be attracted to that particular product or service. It'll go. This is what a price chart looks like when you see money fleeing from a business. And usually when it gets this bad, that's when the CEO begins to restructure the business. They lay off people and they begin to say things like, oh, we lost our way. It looks to me that Yuga Labs lost its way a long time ago. Just by looking at the price. Just by looking at the price alone, you can see that there's issues going on within the company. You don't have to get bogged down into all the intricacies as to why it's failing. All you can tell is that, look, money is fleeing from this business. I don't need to put my money there then. We did a price prediction in Ape right here back on the 25th of January. It's been that long. And we were expecting the price to go up. It did. It went all the way up to 260. So if you was able to take out the market in Apecoin there, congratulations, because that would have been about almost, you could have doubled your money, 96.25% there. But for us, 24.75. Now, since that time, look, the market has even broken our buy zone. We're trading well below that now. What's going to bring people back into the market for Ape? That is what the CEO needs to figure out. Did they get lucky with the NFT project? Because if they let all these talented people go, maybe the talented person that they need, they're laying off right now. The one who has the vision. They just lay those people off, right? What do you expect this market to continually do? Because I don't see anything here outside of Ape continuing to go down in price. Unless something pops to where more and more people begins to come in and buy this cryptocurrency, or they do something that will bring people into the business and that will keep them there. That's the thing that they need to do. They need to create a product, a service that will continue to bring people in. Like, that's why they have with sports betting, you will continue to have people come in and bet on sports, because sports is always there. There's something always going on into the market, something fantastic, a new record being made, competition always going on. Like, it's going to continue to bring viewership. That's why they invest billions of dollars into these sports. It's because it brings people in and it continues to keep people in, and they can sell hundreds of millions of dollars worth of merchandise and product because it grabs people's attention. This is what Yuga Labs needs to do for their business, for their company, is that they need to create something that will bring people in and will keep them there. If that doesn't happen, this price chart for Ape is going to continue to get weaker and weaker and go lower. So give me your thoughts. Let me know. Make sure you maintain profitability. And as always, trade different.